You know, it didn't occur to me until a week after I made my media sale haul video that I missed the perfect opportunity for the perfect cold open for that video, considering I had the soundtrack from Sling Blade in there. So now I present to you the cold open I should have made for that video.
I reckon I can use some more of them cheap CDs if you got any extras. Mm-hmm.
Greetings, one and all, and welcome to Tom's Hit Parade. By the way, I invite you to hit that subscribe button, give me a thumbs up if you like what you see, share this video with your friends, and leave me your thoughts down in the comments section. I would love you for it. So here we are with my August playlist video. Yes, a couple weeks late. I was busy with other stuff last weekend, so wasn't able to get a video out to you then. But yes, I am slowly but surely making my way through my vinyl listening backlog, which is the goal of playlist for this year. You'll notice I now have, again, just 2 compartments on this row full of records. I've cleared out the other one, consolidated stuff in there. Yes, all 3 of these compartments and all 3 of the ones above on the row above, which you can't see, used to be full of records back when I started this in January. So making great progress on my average goal of 1 album every other day for the entire year. Uh, and I must confess, I usually do my listening, 6-8 albums in a weekend, and I still have trouble getting into the habit of listening to an album at night when I'm unwinding, and I really should, just because I've been trying to unplug from social media and the world around me more often, more and more, especially considering the events of the last week, which I will not go into specifics on. But yeah, anyway, it's just trying to maybe by the time, maybe when I'm almost done with playlist, I will have worked myself into the habit of listening to records at night to unwind. But anyway, enough of that. Let's go ahead and get on into the 17 records I have, so just a little bit above average for the month of August, and show you what I've got roughly sorted by genre. First off, with the comedy and spoken word, which I mentioned a month or two ago. I had been ignoring that coming into until like halfway through the year, and realized I have so much comedy and spoken word up there. Trying to work more of that into the monthly mix here. Hopefully, I won't get it too heavy on that genre as each month goes by. But anyway, the Smothers Brothers. Here we have Aesop's Fables, The Smothers Brothers Way. Typically good Smothers Brothers album. Really, really good. Lots of fun. These guys are so funny and nutty and silly. Their chemistry together was just fantastic. And yes, as the title implies, these guys recite summarized versions of Aesop's fables, and in spoken word things, and then they do a little song for most of them as well. So it's kind of a cool little two-part album, if you will. But it's 2 parts, one after the other after the other. So yeah, fun little album. I really enjoyed that. One of my more favorite Smothers Brothers albums so far. Then we have a comedy duo that is not quite as well known, Wayne and Schuster. They first came to my attention with a couple of we've got a couple of DVDs of highlights of the Ed Sullivan Show, and they did a couple of sketches. They were, I think, pretty much regulars on the Ed Sullivan Show. But this album is actually little skits in the form of interviews, brief interviews with interesting individuals. Let's just say, I don't think there were any. Oh, there were maybe one or two things that might today be considered culturally insensitive, but otherwise, this was a pretty good, pretty funny album. It can be taken as funny now as it was back in the 50s and 60s for the most part. So yes, lots of fun with that one as well. And then we have, and I think I found that one on the freebie shelf at House of Records. We have one soundtrack today, one soundtrack, and then one soundtrack adjacent. But the soundtrack for this month is The Old Man and the Sea by Dmitri Tiomkin. This, I think, was the first Dmitri Tiomkin score I've listened to, and rather enjoyed it. I have never seen the movie. It's a Spencer Tracy film, as you can see. So, yeah, I do want to see the movie, and perhaps maybe I'll pick this one up on CD eventually. Um, I got this one at a thrift store, and it's a little bit noisy, and obviously soundtracks have quieter passages, and so the noise becomes more apparent on this kind of an album. So yeah, but still, it was nice to listen to. Rather enjoyed it, and I will probably have to watch the movie at some point as well. Then we have the soundtrack adjacent one is an album of Henry Mancini compositions by the flute player James Galway. It's called In the Pink. Obviously, the Pink Panther is one of the selections that he does. And then we have a theme from The Thornbirds, which was a television miniseries back in the early 80s. And then the theme from Breakfast at Tiffany's, another film that he scored. We've got Baby Elephant Walk, which is perhaps my favorite Mancini instrumental. Two for the Road, the theme from The Molly Maguires, which I guess is another movie that he did. But yes, and of course, there's a theme, or excuse me, a medley, three by Mancini and Mercer, songs that Johnny Mercer did the lyrics to: Days of Wine and Roses, Charade, and Moon River, possibly Henry Mancini's most famous composition, Moon River. So yeah, very, very nice album. I somewhat enjoy James Galway's flute talents. So yeah, lots of fun this one. I really enjoyed this one. Then we're into contemporary jazz. We have Spyro Yes, perhaps my three favorite contemporary jazz bands are the Rippingtons, number one by far, and then we have Spyro and the Yellow Jackets. I really enjoy all three of them. And yes, this is the kind of contemporary jazz that's structured more like pop songs without lyrics, verse chorus, bridge verse chorus kind of thing, as opposed to like the more improv-y um, stuff that traditional jazz does. So yes, I'm my listening is a little bit boring in that respect. You can argue that, but yes, it's just, what can I say? It's the kind of stuff that I love. But yes, this is the fourth or fifth Spyro Gyra album that I have. I really enjoy them. Then we're into some jazz saxophone. We have Gato Barbieri with his album Appassionato. Now, this album was in a stack of records that a friend of mine that I used to work with, she's retired now, she got this stack of albums from a friend of hers, and then she, not having a record player and having no use for the albums, gave them to me. So that was very, very nice. And I've shown a few of the albums from that stack in previous um, playlist videos this year. But yeah, really enjoyed this one. I've wanted to check out Gato Barbieri's stuff for a while now, and just hadn't bothered until now. And there's one track that I really enjoyed. I can't remember if it was Angel or Tiempo Buono, but it was on side two, I know. So, but yes, the whole album is good, I've got to say. But yes, I will probably be checking out more of Gato's stuff as the months and years go on. Then we have, this is more of like a new age kind of thing. It's an electronic instrumental artist named Jean-Michel Jarre, French, obviously. And this was, I believe, his first album, Oxygen. And the first track on side two, as you can see by the track listing, it's just the title track in 6 movements. I believe it was movement 4. I believe the first track on side 2. I know I've heard it somewhere. I think it's been used in various milieux, like movie trailers, perhaps, and commercials or something like that. But it sounded very, very familiar when I heard it. But yeah, the whole album is very nice, kind of ambient-ish. What am I trying to say? Not easy listening. I had the word in my head, now it's gone. But yes, ambient kind of stuff. Good stuff. Nice stuff to put on in the background, maybe just to while you're puttering around the house, or just trying to relax. Good stuff. Then we have some exotica, as the subgenre is called, kind of tropical instrumentation with easy listening compositions. This is Arthur Lyman, who was kind of a master at exotica, and this is his album Cast Your Fate to the Wind, and it's actually on GNP Crescendo Records, which the vast majority of GNP Crescendo records or albums that I have are soundtracks. They were particularly well known for putting out a pretty long, extensive series of Star Trek soundtracks, both from the TV series and from the movies. But yes, I believe this is the only easy listening or the only non-soundtrack crescendo album that I have. But yeah, lots of good stuff on here. The title track, of course, which was a Vince Guaraldi composition, very, very well known, one of the big well known compositions in the easy listening world. And we have Slaughter on 10th Avenue. It must be a love song. No. And The Days of Wine and Roses, the Mancini song, Night Train, Crickets of Karachi, a Les Baxter composition. So interesting stuff. I do have, I think it was an Arthur Lyman album that it was a CD that was in my sister's collection that I inherited from her. And so that was kind of my first taste of Arthur Lyman. So I was happy to dip my toes a little bit more into his stuff. Then we have an artist that I have enjoyed for a while now, Trini Lopez. This is his album, Trini Lopez Now, contemporary for its time songs that Trini Lopez does in his style. There's a Kind of Hush All Over the World, Sunny, Guantanamera, You Talk Too Much, Born Free, the movie theme, Where's the Love, which is not the Black Eyed Peas song. No, that's a few decades too early for that. But yeah, good stuff. And Trini Lopez, my longtime viewers remember that I had Trini Lopez in Tom's A to Z, which is a series that I did a few years back, where I took 26 records from the $1 section at House of Records, one each by an artist. How do I explain it? Each artist from one artist from each letter of the alphabet. 26 records, one artist from each. So I called it A to Z. You get the idea. I'm having trouble explaining myself, but you get the idea. Anyway, Trini Lopez was in the L, was the L artist for that year. And yes, got that album. That was the first Trini Lopez album that I listened to and rather enjoyed it. And this is the fourth one I've bought since. So he's one that has kind of stuck with me and I really enjoyed. So yes, good voice, very good guitar talent. So yes, excellent artist. Sorry, it took me a while to explain the concept of A to Z. My brain is kind of tapioca right now. Anyway, as we close out the easy listening part of this playlist, we've got Johnny Mathis, one of my all-time favorite singers, and this album, his album Johnny's Mood. I can't tell you what year this was put out or where it sits in his discography, chronologically speaking, because they were not good at making the copyright dates prominent on these old albums. But yes, I'm Gonna Laugh You Out of My Life, which obviously sounds like a breakup song to me. How High the Moon, I really enjoy that one. That was kind of a favorite easy listening or favorite standard song of mine. I'm in the Mood for Love, classic. April in Paris, Corner to Corner, Good Night, My Love. So yeah, just as excellent as any other Johnny Mathis album that I've heard. I have yet to run into a mediocre Johnny Mathis album. So yes, very, very good stuff. And then we have just one country album this month. And if I'm going to do one country album, it's going to be by one of the greats, Willie Nelson. This has got to be the 10th or 11th Willie Nelson album that I have. Just one of those artists that I think I've never been huge on country, but Willie Nelson kind of transcends genre, I think, kind of like Johnny Cash. And so, yeah, excellent album. Great stuff here. And the track listings on this side here. So, yes, That Lucky Old Sun, the classic standard, and Crazy, the Patsy Cline hit. And If You've Got the Money, I've Got the Time. And A Penny for Your Thoughts. So, money is a theme waving through a couple of songs. So yeah, very, very good album. And again, kind of like with Johnny Mathis, I have yet to hit a mediocre Willie Nelson album. So yeah, great, great stuff. Classic, living legend. Yes, I can't believe he's still, running, going away at the recording and the singing and songwriting. And what can you say? You got to admire the longevity of somebody like Willie Nelson. Next one here is decidedly a little bit lower down on the recording esteem legend ladder than Willie Nelson. Sean Cassidy. Not that he's a bad singer. He was a decent singer, but yes, this was one of the wave of the '70s where, you know, teen idol actors just had to take a crack at singing, or more to the point, probably their management said they need to take a crack at singing so we can get a little more money. But yes, and like most of the singers turned actors of the time, the majority of the songs on the album are covers. To Do Ron Ron, which I cannot remember who did the original version. It's Too Late. Take Good Care of My Baby. Be My Baby. Hey There, Lonely Girl. So, decent stuff. I think my sister was a fan of Sean Cassidy. I think she had a crush on Sean Cassidy back in the day. And then an artist that I used to be a lot more into, but he kind of cooled on me a bit. But this album is a classic. Silk Degrees by Boz Scaggs. It's got his classic song, The Lido Shuffle, on it. And let's see, Harbor Lights, I think, is another great song on here. Lowdown, What Can I Say? Uh, and yeah, it's packed with good songs. Possibly his biggest selling album, I think. And yeah, if you have not checked out Boz Scaggs, particularly Silk Degrees, check it out. Then another 70s album, yeah, that was like 78 or something, was Silk Degrees. Here we have the Rubinoos, a classic power pop band from the 70s. Uh, this is their sophomore album. I've also got their debut album, and both of those in my collection are recent reissues from 2022 on the Yep Rock label. But yes, these were from the 70s. Uh, Probably their biggest hit, maybe their biggest hit, was I Want to Be Your Boyfriend," and I actually discovered that song through a cover version from another band, strangely enough. But yes, I absolutely love that song. Probably my favorite Rubinoos song was "I Want to Be Your Boyfriend." "Driving Music" is another popular song of theirs. And we have "Lightning Love Affair." That was a really good one. And then "Hold Me," "Operator." That was a really good one. So yeah, very, very good stuff. If you like power pop, that kind of hooky, catchy stuff with plenty of guitar in it, I recommend the Rubinoos. Checking them out. Very, very good stuff. Then we're into the '80s stuff. Here we have this next album. I really did not pay attention to this artist nearly as much as I should have until just recently. Berlin. This is their album Love Life, and their hit No More Words is on this album. But I have one other Berlin album that I think I got from Noah, my little brother. I think it was in a stack of records that he offered me, and I took it. I think so. But yes, both Berlin albums, all I had known was their hit singles, obviously, from back in the '80s, and didn't realize how good they were until I listened to their full studio albums. And just the deep cuts on these albums are just great. Just, yeah, so much more to the band than their hit singles. Although I cannot remember specifically which songs on this one really got me. Dancing in Berlin, I think, was a really, really good one. Beg, Steal, or Borrow. In My Dreams, I think, was a really good one. So yes, they are so much more than their hit singles. So yes, check out Berlin and do a deep dive on them, because I think you will really enjoy them. So much more atmospheric, I guess is the word, but just they just kind of evoke kind of this mood, and it has a lot to do with the lead singer, whose name escapes me right now. But yes, very, very good stuff. And I'm leaving for the last two albums in my playlist for today. My two of my favorite bands from the '80s. First off, we have Huey Lewis and the News, and this is their fifth album. Yeah, their fourth album was called Four. Their fifth album, Small World, and they picked up some jazz influences and other influences for this album, and gave those a shot in there. And personally, I like this album just as much as all their other ones. Um, my favorite song on here is "Give Me the Keys and I'll Drive You Crazy." Maybe or maybe not because it most closely resembles the stuff from their previous albums. But I also love the title track, Small World. The song Perfect World is great. Old Antones has a bit of a New Orleans thing to it. They take a shot at New Orleans jazz kind of stuff. Walking with the Kid is another great song. So yes, not their most successful album by far, but and not typical of their sound that they got famous for, but I recommend trying this album out. The worst that'll happen is you don't like it, but yes, I really enjoyed it. I'm kind of a completist, if you will, maybe, but kind of a diehard Huey Lewis and the News fan. It's like it would take something really, really crappy for me not to like them. But yeah, good album. And then perhaps my favorite album or my favorite artist of the '80s, Duran Duran, and this is their third album, Seven and the Ragged Tiger. And I don't know if this is my favorite Duran Duran album. It probably isn't, but this may be the sound that I like the most out of Duran Duran. It's kind of I don't know how to describe it, but it's kind of got a bit of a heavier um, sound to it. What comes to mind when I listen to this is claustrophobia, but not in a bad way. But it's like the drums and stuff are kind of tighter and more in your face, so it's kind of like everything's a little bit more. I don't know if I'm trying. I don't know if I'm explaining myself adequately, but just the kind of tight and heavy, I guess, is how I would describe it in a couple of words. Um, their song, the non-album single that they put out right after this, "The Wild Boys," that's the same kind of sound. They just kind of carried the sound from this album forward onto that single, "Wild Boys." So yes, for some reason, that sound of theirs and the aesthetic in the music videos for this album, I liked also. But yes, The Reflex was their biggest hit off this album. New Moon on Monday and Union of the Snake were two other big hits. And I think maybe there was one other lesser single that was pretty popular. But yes, love this album. I don't know if it's my favorite Duran Duran album, but I think it's my favorite sound period of Duran Duran. So yeah, Seven and the Ragged Tiger. Although the first track on this album skips. So yeah, I will have to eventually find myself a better copy of it. Although I do have it on CD, so it's not like I can't listen to it skip free when I want to. But yeah, gotta say that was a very good album and a very good list of stuff for my playlist video for the month of August. I hope you enjoyed it. So that'll do it for this video. Be sure to like it if you liked it. And before you go, drop me some feedback in the comment section. I would love to know what you think. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the bell icon to catch my future videos, hit my username to browse my old videos. Links to my socials and my favorite fellow YouTubers are in the description below. Otherwise, thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and remember, life's too short to be a music snob.